Hey guys, Ms. Strong here, presenting you with your last video for the Weather and Climate unit. This video will focus on the relationship between oceans and weather, specifically how oceans play a role in the formation of certain weather systems. Alright, so in this video you'll be looking at how the ocean plays a role in regulating the weather and climate on Earth. I'll touch a little bit on surface currents, and then we'll look at tropical storms and hurricanes. So we have surface currents that I'm going to talk about first. Really, you just need to know that they affect the climate of the land near where they flow. I know we talked about it in class, so I'm going to keep this pretty short and sweet. You'll notice that we've got two types of currents. We've got warm currents, which flow from the equator, and then we've got cold currents, which flow from the poles. Two examples of how surface currents can affect weather systems would be the California current. It flows on the west coast of the United States from the north to Mexico, and it keeps the west coast of the United States temperatures fairly cool. So those places along the west coast have cooler temperatures compared to places that are at the same latitude further inland. The other example is the Gulf Stream, which carries warm water from the tropics to the North Atlantic Ocean and ultimately past Western Europe. And what that does is creates a relatively mild climate for Western Europe. So where you would normally expect it to be cold, it's not as cold because they are right along that warm current. And just a note, you do not have to draw this map. You may have already seen a picture of it. You don't need to draw it. Just keep in mind where the warm currents are and where the cold currents are. Now for hurricanes, their scientific term is tropical cyclone. You may have also heard them referred to as typhoons and cyclones. Hurricanes, typhoons, cyclones, they're all the same type of storm. The only difference is the location. So you don't have to draw this map, but you may want to make a mental note or a note in your journal about where the different names occur. Hurricanes are the product of low pressure systems over warm ocean water. They actually start out as tropical storms, but once they gain speed and strength, they're upgraded to hurricanes. The hurricane season for the Atlantic, which is where we are affected in North America, is from June 1st to November 30th. That's when that area is at its warmest. We categorize hurricanes into categories based on strength, so that's 1 through 5. And the most important thing for you guys to remember is that warm water fuels hurricanes. If you look at this map here, which no, you don't have to draw, you should see that they all originate around the equator where water is warm. And with hurricanes, they gain strength by absorbing energy and moisture as they move across warm ocean water, and they weaken once they're on land because they've lost the energy that is being provided by that warm ocean water. So please remember, warm water fuels hurricanes. Okay, so here's the diagram to show you exactly what hurricanes need to be produced. You need to make sure you draw the picture, and you need to make sure you write down the little bit of content for each number. So it starts out with warm ocean water, and that provides energy for the hurricane and causes more evaporation, making humid air and clouds. The winds, since we're talking about a low pressure system, come together and force the air upwards, and that wind flows outward above the storm, allowing the air below it to rise. From there, humid air that's rising gives more clouds or creates more clouds, and then you have winds from the outside steering the hurricane in whatever direction it goes and also allowing it to grow because it's moving across warm water. We will look more at hurricanes in class, but please make sure you get this written down, because not only do you need to know that warm water is what fuels hurricanes, but you should know the process for which they are created.